Hello everyone and welcome to Chabot News for Thursday, March 20th. My name is Lamont Lujan and today we'll be covering the measles outbreak in Texas, the story of a heroic custodian, and the Hayward State of the City update. In sports news, Adrian will tell you about big moves happening in the NFL, and in entertainment, Shyla has the scoop on Black Widow and the future of the MCU. All that and more coming up on this edition of Chabot News. As measles cases in Texas and New Mexico continue to rise, vaccine rates nationwide are falling. There are currently 230 reported cases of measles, of which 30 cases resulted in hospitalization, according to the CDC data. Vaccine rates for diseases like the measles fell across more than 30 states in 2024. Lee Waldman spoke to healthcare professionals who are concerned about this trend.
5 years ago today, COVID-19 was declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization. Healthcare professionals we spoke to warn that the measles is much more contagious than COVID. They fear that if immunization rates against the measles continues to drop, we could have a big problem on our hands.
The emergence of measles needs to bother more people than it is bothering nationally right now.
Though they're states away, Dr. Jim McDonald with the New York State Department of Health is very concerned about the measles outbreak in West Texas and New Mexico.
Measles is not a harmless childhood infection. If you look at the Texas outbreak in particular, a little over 1 in 5 people are ending up in a hospital.
McDonald points to falling immunization rates as the reason behind the outbreaks. CDC data found vaccination coverage among kindergartners across the U.S. dropped to 92.7% for measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine during the 2023 to 24 school year.
When vaccine rates erode, and they have eroded to the point where many jurisdictions now have vaccine rates that are well less than 95%, which is what's required to prevent measles, we're starting to see measles come back.
Dr. Paul Offit says there's an increase in vaccine skepticism and a rejection of them after the COVID-19 vaccines.
I do worry that as immunization rates continue to erode, that children will once again suffer.
The CDC says measles has a mortality rate of 1 to 3 per 1,000 cases in children. With 2 deaths confirmed from the current outbreak, Offit fears the current number of cases is much higher than currently reported.
This is a highly contagious virus, and I don't think people realize how sick it can make you.
Both doctors we spoke to pointed to the fact that measles was eradicated in the U.S. in 2000 because of the MMR vaccine. Health departments in both Texas and New Mexico are offering this vaccine to people for free. In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
Thank you for that great report, Lee. If you were born after 1957, you should have received the MMR vaccine. If you're unsure if you received the MMR vaccine, you should ask your doctor to request a lab test, the titer test, to confirm your immunity to measles. Authorities in Colorado say a man used a child as a human shield to avoid arrest. The incident happened early Tuesday morning in Colorado Springs. Police say the man was involved in a fatal hit and run prior to the arrest, and that the child was in the car at the time of the hit and run. Mackenzie Stafford has more on the story.
Shay Watley says she woke up just after midnight after hearing a bang.
Stuff you only see in horror flicks, that's for sure.
That's how she describes the scene she walked out to, seeing a man dead in the road, after police say Dominic Rodriguez was speeding down the street. We cut out the portion where you see the driver hit the man due to its graphic nature. But you can see here, they just drive off.
Man, to just leave him there like that, it's awful.
Police say just a few blocks away on East Pikes Peak Avenue, they found Rodriguez. Instead of surrendering, they say he used a small child as a shield from police.
Why does he have a child out that late at night? Imagine what that child saw.
Colorado Springs police say they believe the kid was in the car during the hit and run.
My heart goes to that child.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Police say the child is recovering from minor injuries. Rodriguez is facing multiple charges. Finally, a crack in the egg market. but is not expected to last for long. According to a U.S. Department of Agriculture market report released Wednesday, the price that retailers pay for loose eggs fell by 15% or $1.20 in the first week of March. And that's an average of $6.85 a dozen. It's a sign that the prices shoppers pay could fall at grocery stores, but any relief will likely be short-lived. Prices are expected to spike again as Easter and Passover will bring a renewed demand for eggs. The USDA said a lighter demand leading up to those holidays could give egg producers time to rebuild some of their stock. But while supply might stabilize, prices may still increase. Egg prices have been the topic of conversation for some time now. This prompted our reporter Jasmine Bester to ask the student body about their thoughts on the matter. Jasmine, take it away from here.
What are my thoughts on the recent egg prices? I think that it's an interesting concept that they keep going up and down, fluctuating. I feel like they need to stay at a certain price, especially for those who are working in school, students and stuff. Like, we need to afford to be able to buy essential products such as eggs, milk, you know.
I honestly haven't really noticed the egg prices too much. I don't really look at them when I go to the store to buy eggs. But for some reason, it's a lot more noticeable at Costco of all the other places. Probably because they have so many like in one package. But like when I go to Target or Safeway, I haven't really noticed the increase that much.
Egg price is crazy, man. You know, what's breakfast without eggs at the end of the day, man? You know, they got me paying $11 for 12 eggs. That's crazy, man.
I think it sucks that something as, you know, basic and as a staple like eggs is, you know, going up in price. And I think it's like a weird misdirect from like the real issues that are going on.
I think they're way too expensive and I love my eggs.
Thanks, Jasmine. And now to Adrian Santoyo with this week's sports news.
And NFL quarterback Josh Allen has secured a record-breaking $330 million deal, now as one of the highest-paid athletes in sports history. The Buffalo Bills have reportedly signed a reigning MVP Josh Allen to a record-setting contract extension on Sunday. The team announced the 28-year-old superstar quarterback agreed to an extension that will keep him in Buffalo through 2030. According to multiple reports, the agreed-upon deal is for 6 years, $330 million, with a record-setting $250 million. Guaranteed, that's the largest guaranteed amount ever given to an NFL player. Fortunately, the future of the NFL just got a whole lot more expensive. The Philly Eagles soared to the White House for a victory celebration. The Philadelphia Eagles will visit the 1600th Pennsylvania Avenue. The Super Bowl champs have accepted an official White House invite, according to team spokesperson. A day and time for the visit to Washington, D.C. has yet to be finalized. The Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59, giving the team its second Lombardi trophy. President Donald Trump made history by becoming the first sitting president to attend the NFL's grand final. With the White House visit, the Eagles' victory is officially celebrated, marking a memorable moment for the Eagles. My name is Adrian Santoyo, and back to you, Lamond.
Thanks, Adrian. The roof of a grocery store has collapsed in Northern California on Monday, March 17th. The Modesto Fire Department says 2 people were hurt when a 20 by 20 foot section of the roof caved in. The victims were able to crawl out of the rubble all on their own. An employee described what it was like to be inside at the time of the incident.
At first we thought it was thunder, but it was a lot louder. We heard this, it felt like static in the air. Walk out the back room, and one of our baggers tells me that the roof collapsed. And you know, I'm standing next to our store director, and we thought he was joking.
Authorities say the collapse damaged the store's fire sprinkler system, which flooded the building. Officials haven't said what caused the collapse. The roof was only about a year old. A Florida school custodian is being recognized for saving a boy's life. The student was rushing through his lunch when a piece of cheesy bread got stuck in his throat, causing him to choke.
And I just noticed that he couldn't get his breath. And so I patted him on his back twice, and I just noticed that he was still doing what he was doing. And so instantly I just grabbed him and just got like 3 good pumps to the chest, and he just started spitting out the mouth, and I let him go.
Remember, anyone can learn the Heimlich maneuver. And if you're not sure how to perform the technique, there are multiple YouTube and instructional video guides online. Training is also included as part of your first aid certification courses. Chabot College's theater department is getting ready to open its doors to audience to see the musical Rent. Our reporter and fellow cast member, Jasmine Bester, has exclusive details. Take it away.
Chabot College's theater department has chosen Rent the Musical to be their spring 2025 main stage production.
I'm excited to be in Rent the Musical because this is my second musical. This is also one of the first musicals in 4 years to happen here at Chabot, and I'm really glad that I'm a part of it.
I'm really excited because it's my first ever musical, and yeah, I started off theater and acting last year, first time ever, and I want to kind of build up my resume. And also I'm working with so many crazy talented people, so I believe in iron sharpening iron, and learning from other people, and also us learning together brings each other higher.
What I enjoy most about the cast is that when we did our first table read, it was amazing to see everybody's talent really be on full display. Some people I've known for maybe a couple years, and I've never even gotten to see that side of them. So it was just so astounding to just hear them and listen and see how they embody their characters so poignantly.
It's my first ever play related to theater, and to be having such a big role in a musical is definitely an accomplishment to me.
Musical direction is provided by Professor Ken Rowden, and Professor Joe Ayers will be directing and choreographing the show.
It's one of my favorite musicals. It's a dream show for me to get to direct and choreograph. So I'm very excited about directing it with my wonderful students here.
Rent is a rock musical that documents a group of impoverished young artists struggling to survive in New York during the HIV/AIDS epidemic. The book, music, and lyrics were provided by none other than Jonathan Larson.
I think Jonathan Larson's story of Rent is really impactful. I think it's timeless. I think it's a classic in the musical world. And just being able to be here and put it on in 2025 is just an amazing opportunity to share the world with his story.
I think this story is important because, I don't know, I think healing happens through art. So he was able to tell this story, and the stories that he's telling right now, they're literally immortal right now because he is telling their story.
The cast has been rehearsing for several weeks and is ready to give audiences an amazing show.
Thank you, Jasmine. Viewings for Rent will start on March 26th. Tickets are currently on sale. I know I bought mine. And here's Shyla Parkash with entertainment news.
Rapper Doechii has been named Billboard's 2025 Women of the Year. She will be honored at the event later this month. Doechii has skyrocketed in popularity with her hits No Scrubs and Denial is a River, which peaked at number 21 spot on Hot 100. In January, she won her first Grammy for her 2024 album, Alligator Bites Never Heal, in the Best Rap Album category. That made her the third woman in the award show's history to win the honor. Doechii has had 5 songs chart on the Billboard's Hot 100. Billboard's 2025 Women in Music event will air live on Vizio, Watch Free Plus on March 29 at 10 p.m. Eastern. Marvel's Black Widow is dead, and that comes straight from Scarlett Johansson's mouth. She told InStyle magazine the character's death in Avengers Endgame was permanent. Speculation around Black Widow has started to swirl as Marvel prepares the next phase of its cinematic universe. That's going to start this summer with Fantastic Four: First Steps, and a new Avengers film next summer will star Robert Downey Jr., but is Doctor Doom, not Iron Man. Of course, we all know to take Johansson's comments with a grain of salt. Remember how many superheroes temporarily died at the end of Avengers: Infinity War? There are always prequels, alternative universes, and time travel. My name is Shyla Prakash, and now back to you, Lamont.
Thank you, Shyla. On Tuesday, March 11th, President Trump said he will double the tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum from 25% to 50%. The tariffs are set to go in effect on Wednesday. It's retaliation for Ontario's 25% surcharge on electricity exports to 3 U.S. states starting Monday. Trump also said he will respond with a 25% tariff on Canadian electricity. Ontario Premier Doug Ford said the surcharge could end up costing U.S. customers in New York, Minnesota, and Michigan about $100 more per month. Trump said he would declare a national electricity emergency in those states. He also threatened to increase tariffs on cars coming into the U.S. from Canada starting on April 2nd. Trump said that would shut down Canada automotive manufacturing business. Crust, the world's biggest dog show, was held Sunday in England. And the top dog award went to an Italian Whippet. Musca is 4 years old. Her handler describes her as the sweetest dog. She is the first Italian dog to win the coveted Best at the Show prize at the event, and the fourth Whippet to win the prize. Fun fact, about 6 times as many dogs compete at Crufts as it is at the Winchester Dog Show, the famed U.S. competition held in New York every year. President Donald Trump spoke with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky Wednesday, March 19th. This conversation comes just weeks after the two leaders had a heated sit-down in the Oval Office. Our Washington correspondent, Julia Benbrook, is at the White House with what we know about today's phone call.
President Donald Trump is describing his hour-long conversation with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as a very good one, adding that he believes the discussions to end the war in Ukraine are, quote, on track. He also said, quote, much of the discussion was based on the call made yesterday with President Putin in order to align both Russia and Ukraine in terms of their requests and needs.
The leaders agreed Ukraine and America will continue working together to bring about a real end to the war, and that lasting peace under President Trump's leadership can be achieved. The two leaders also agreed on a partial ceasefire against energy. Technical teams will meet in Saudi Arabia in the coming days to discuss broadening the ceasefire to the Black Sea on the way to a full ceasefire.
During Trump's call with Vladimir Putin on Tuesday, the Russian president also agreed to temporarily halt attacks on energy infrastructure targets in Ukraine, but stopped short of agreeing to a broader ceasefire. Russia and Ukraine exchanged aerial assaults just hours after. Zelensky has said that Putin's words are at odds with reality when it comes to Russian operations on the ground. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
President Donald Trump is describing his hour-long conversation with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky as a very good one, adding that he believes discussions to end the war in Ukraine are, quote, on track. Russia and Ukraine exchanged aerial assaults overnight. Zelensky has said Putin's words are at odds with reality when it comes to Russian operations on the ground. And now, in lighter news, here's Enrique Peña-Ponce with his top 5.
Thank you, Lamond. I myself am a really big fan of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series, so I'll go over my top 5 characters from across the entire franchise. Starting off with number 5 is Rohan Kishibe from Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. Rohan Kishibe is a manga artist who has the stand Heaven's Door, which allows the user to read anyone's minds or write anything into their minds. Rohan is a very blunt character, which causes him to be unintentionally hilarious. He's also the only character to have their own spin-off. Moving on, we have Bruno Bucciarati from Part 5, Golden Wind. Bruno is the highlight of Part 5, often outshining the main character. Bruno has the stand Sticky Fingers, which allows him to make zippers out of anything, letting him be really creative with his stand, and it often makes it the cherry on top that he's already a great character. In third, we have Gyro Zeppeli from Part 7, Steel Ball Run. While the part Gyro is from has yet to be animated, he is on this list because while reading Steel Ball Run, his character kept me interested in reading Part 7. He doesn't possess a stand, but he's the master of the spin technique, which is passed on from the Zeppeli family to use the golden ratio. At second, we have Toru from Part 8 JoJolion, which is yet to be animated, but that's not for another 5 years. Anyways, Toru has one of the most interesting stands in the entire franchise, being Wonder of You. To keep it short, if you have the intent of pursuit against Toru, you will be met with a calamity. This arc in JoJolion was one of the most interesting the series has ever brought. Toru also brings an interesting dynamic to the main character of someone who brings disaster going against someone who brings miracles. In the number one spot, we have Josuke Higashikata, also from Part 8. He is the main character from JoJolion. His mysterious origins make him and his conflicts the most interesting out of all the JoJo main characters. His stance, soft and wet, lets him take something from someone, like a sense, or uses soap bubbles as an explosive, which also allows really creative uses. My name is Enrique Peña Ponce, and this has been my top 5. Now back to you, Lamond.
Thanks, Enrique. Fans of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure can look forward to JoJo Day on April 12th. If you've been out a lot recently, then you may have noticed stands selling boxes of cookies outside of grocery stores and allegedly dispensaries. That's because it's Girl Scout cookie season, where they're sold to help fund the Girl Scouts of America. The staff of the Chabot College Spectator decided to try out and compare all the cookies available for purchase to commemorate this occasion. Our reporter, Evan Neto, was on hand to get their opinions.
Hello, I'm Evan Neto, reporting for Chabot TV, KCTH 27 on Comcast. I'm here in the Spectator room where the staff of the newspaper are about to try and rank all the Girl Scout cookies available for purchase today. But before we get into all of that, before they start eating the cookies, I'm going to get some more information about this little event, if you may, to get some background knowledge before the fun begins. I'll see you then. The cookie tasting was thought up by 2 student journalists, Samantha Valencia and Gloria Rodriguez. Apparently, the idea has some interesting backstory.
It started off as a joke, and then we realized Gloria has never tried Girl Scout cookies, so we thought, why not? So someone brought some Girl Scouts cookies, and I stated the fact that I've never had them before, and Sam mentioned that we should do this because I've never had them before, and it was quite shocking.
The students tried the cookies out one by one. They had just about every flavor of cookie available. Some were quite popular, while others were not.
Yes, my favorite, and has been for a long time, are the Caramel Delights or Samoas. I think it depends on where you buy them, but I like the Caramel Delights. Yeah.
I think the cookies are good. They were better 10 years ago. The best cookies probably the Venturefuls and the Mints, but overall, when you compare them to all cookies, they're very mid.
I don't think they're good at all. A lot of them kind of tasted the same, profile-wise, and then some of the more iconic ones weren't that iconic. I like the Adventurefuls. Those were good, but even then it was just kind of mid.
After they were done tasting each cookie, the students ranked the cookies using a tier list. It was a hard-fought battle. The competition was tough, but the Tagalong and Caramel Delight flavors ended up taking the win. Other cookies weren't so lucky. The Toasty and PB sandwich flavors weren't well received, while the gluten-free caramel chocolate chip cookie came in dead last. Given it was a group ranking, there were bound to be disagreements about the outcome. I spoke to some of the students to gauge how they felt.
Well, I don't agree with it, simply because one of them that I don't like, the coconut one, was S tier. I believe that the Adventurefuls should be S tier, and the what was it? There's another one I forgot to mention, which was great, which was the peanut butter patties. The peanut butter patties, which was good. That should have been S tier, along with the Adventurefuls.
Yeah, I think overall the ranking was fair. I had to compromise on a few of them. Like, I didn't think that the Adventurefuls were A tier, but I did enjoy them enough to like be like, okay, yeah, you know, that's fine. I thought Thin Mints were too low.
One attendee was sure to be very disappointed. I interviewed the last place cookie itself, and it had a few things to say. Oh. Right. Of course. Girl Scout cookies, a staple of the American way of life. According to The Spectator, not a worthwhile one. Middle of the road as far as cookies go. That's their decision, that's their verdict. I'm Evan Netto, reporting for Chabot TV.
Even though The Spectator may consider Girl Scout cookies as overrated, they continue to be one of the country's most iconic brands of cookie. But maybe you're not into Girl Scout cookies. Are you looking for a different snack to eat for lunch? Our reporter, Susan Gonzalez, has a location just for you.
From waffles to steamed bao, milk tea to slushies, and fruit cups to macaron desserts, the Boba Nation at Southland Mall has a variety of options for you to choose from. With the motto, "A world of flavor freedom," it does not disappoint. Their goal is to bring together diverse ideas and feelings into a delicious and refreshing menu for you and your loved ones to enjoy. I took my friend out to try out my favorite item on the menu, the berry acai bowl. With acai as a base, it contains fresh fruits such as bananas, strawberries, and blueberries, topped off with some granola. This combination of ingredients complement one another delightfully. If you're feeling something more fresh, something healthier, or even something a bit more sweet, the Boba Nation is the place for you. You can check out their menu at their website, thebobanation.com, and make your order from there, whether it's pickup or delivery, or go to their other locations such as Newark, Pleasanton, or San Jose.
Thank you, Susan. Local fans of boba love visiting this nearby shop. Last Tuesday on March 11th, the city of Hayward had its 2025 State of the City address. The event was held at the Hayward Unified School District Performing Arts Center with Hayward Mayor Mark Solanas representing. He talked about the topics related to the city, such as housing and new businesses. He also took questions from audience members towards the end of the address. The event was free to attend with no ticket whatsoever or reservation required. It was also streamed live on the City of Hayward YouTube channel. The entire address is available on the City of Hayward YouTube channel for those who weren't able to catch it live. That's all for Chabot News this week. Thanks to all the students and staff in the Mass Communications Department here at Chabot College for making this production possible. You can watch us anytime online at youtube.com/Chabot TV. Stay tuned for KCTH Channel 27 on Comcast for more Chabot TV.